Sandwiched between Energizer Park and other new developments, Union Station has stood tall in St. Louis for more than a century. It closed in the 1970s, but reopened with new appeal, housing an aquarium, and soon, new amusement park rides. As America gets prepared to celebrate its 250th birthday next week, we are highlighting the people and places that make St. Louis what it is.
Our Steve Harris takes us to Union Station, showing us how the place has adapted to changing times.
You know, there's about 140,000 miles of railroad track winding across the country. And 130 years ago, the biggest train station in the world was right here. The railroad was extremely important to America's growth. The very first train pulled into Union Station on September 1st, 1894. And over the next several years, it became the busiest train station in the United States.
People would get on a train or off a train, say hello to their loved ones, say goodbye to their loved ones. I mean, there's so much of that rich history here at Union Station.
It was normal to have more than 100,000 people a day going through the station.
This was the stop. You had to stop in St. Louis if you were going to the West Coast. You had to stop in St. Louis on your way back to the East Coast.
The last train left the station on Halloween night in 1978, but the history stayed.
You walk throughout Union Station, there's all these little, like the Whispering Arch and the Grand Hall, there's all these little elements throughout Union Station that represent that history. And it just ensures that, you know, when people come here and they experience the whole thing, they feel that history and they leave with that kind of magic moment, that memory.
Inside, amazing original architecture. Outside, the steel beams of the train shed overhead and the old tracks underfoot. Tracks that no longer lead to the coast, but to a carousel or the North Pole.
Being able to look at St. Louis Union Station in kind of a different light is really special.
Now it's owned by LHM, and it's a destination of a different kind.
Now we're creating the next 130 years of memories and traditions by doing things like building the aquarium and the St. Louis Wheel and these new amusement rides.
A National Historic Landmark, a place that played an important part in America's past, moving forward and looking back.
We really wanted to continue to honor the history of St. Louis Union Station and what it was, not only for the history of St. Louis, but for the history for the country.
Steve Harris, First Alert 4.
It is great what Union Station has now become. So much different things for families to do. In fact, I was there with my family this past weekend celebrating my son's birthday. We did the wheel and putt and did everything, nice. So it was a lot of fun. I also have to say, the setup to that story, I said America's 250th birthday next week. It's next year. That's what I meant.
Just jump the
Never too early to celebrate America.
I'm just so excited about it.
It's a year-long celebration. It should be, right?